So biggest threat heading into the playoffs from the West. I know earlier I had my stock on Golden State Warriors. I said let's wait till Draymond comes back as well too. But I'm throwing shade. Andrew Wiggins, you are not a fucking all-star. It just doesn't make any sense how the media, the players, and people like yourself and I voted for this nigga to be an all-star starter. He's probably the worst all-star starter I've seen in my life. And in me saying that, because he's so consistently inconsistent at scoring, and Clay literally has had 2 injuries, Andrew Wiggins is supposed to be the number 2 option, right? Steph is going to definitely come back. But do you trust Andrew Wiggins to give you 20 plus points per night as well? I don't necessarily see that as well too. Steph Curry, obviously, track record for injuries with his ankle. It's going to be tough, but there's just a lot of things that I think that, and then Wiseman also is ruled out for the remainder of the year as well too. So a lot of things that kind of they're a huge question mark on what I want to say. But having said all that, my stock, I know I talked to you about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, yo, if the Warriors play the Memphis Grizzlies, who you got? I think we both agreed Warriors in 6. I'm going with Memphis, man. I'm on the Memphis bandwagon, bro. When you only lost 2 games when Ja hasn't played, that's telling you a lot. A lot. And the biggest knock on them, I was like, yo, I think they're too young. Let's not forget, they beat the Warriors last year. The Warriors actually had the 8th seed. If there was no playing, the Warriors would be playing Utah Jazz last year. And Ja Morant went stupid from the Tracy, and they were able to get some form of experience against the Utah Jazz. So I think with the experience that they had last year, Ja elevating his game to another level, their coach getting even more into his coach bag, the depth that they have, how their core players have improved, and then just the level of confidence that they're playing. I know we talked about other teams who are hitting their stride. I think that knowing that there are bevy of injuries this year, considering Jamal Murray, the Michael Porter Jr.'s of the world, we just talked about Curry and Wiseman, Clay just came back, Kawhi and PG, Anthony Davis. There's so many injuries that are kind of going on that I'm just like, hey, if it's anyone that kind of takes serious, I think it's the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think they're good enough to represent the West when it's all said and done. But who's your biggest threat outside of the number 1 seed going into the playoffs for the Western Conference?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Grizzlies. I don't really have much to add to what you said, but I'll tell you what, I caught myself following their Twitter account as a Heat fan. And I looked back on it and I was like, damn, what kind of fan am I right now? I had to unfollow them, but like every time you see them on your timeline, it's like, if I could have a second team, it's the Memphis Grizzlies. So honestly, they're must-see TV, but outside of that, they play great basketball, bro.
They do.
Passing the rock, playing defense, everybody plays hard, and their chemistry. I personally, they might have the best chemistry in the league. Low key, maybe the Bucks, maybe.
I think I personally think the Suns, just because they have the best record in the NBA, but yeah.
It's up there. It's definitely like up there when it comes. We don't even have to rank it. They're probably, with all of them. But yeah, I would go with the Grizzlies. I would also go. We're talking like a threat to knock someone off. Maybe not go far, but knock someone off. If Paul George comes back and with the Clippers, even without Paul George, the Clippers are just a mess. That's a squad. If you can watch some playoff ball and they make it, you gotta watch them. And if the Lakers, if LeBron decides to go 0-30 for real, and AD's back and not injury prone, then yeah, I would go with them to be a dark horse. But if we're talking about true threat, I would go with the Grizzlies.
Yeah. And now the East, we're moving on to the East. The East is kind of weird, right? Because there's literally 4 teams that can be the number 1 seed in the next 2 games. So that's how fucking competitive and dope that the Eastern Conference is. I'm so excited for the Eastern Conference playoffs this year. But my stance doesn't change. Boston Celtics, man. The Boston Celtics, like you said earlier, like I said a week or two ago, they're hitting their stride right now. Tatum is playing some inspiring superstar level MVP caliber type of basketball. They have a great coach. They have an identity which is on the defensive end. To win championships, you need defense. And then if it's a possession-based game, you got two motherfucking dogs in Tatum and Brown who I think I like them so much too because they're kind of, since Kawhi PG right there, that's like my Eastern Conference Kawhi PG. But they have all the tools that they need to get from point A to point B. So my stance kind of stays with the Boston Celtics because from top to bottom, they check all the boxes. So they're going to be a threat moving forward. Whoever plays them, I feel bad for them, moving forward. But who is your threat heading into the playoffs from the Eastern Conference?
Well, since we're not talking about the first seed, I'm definitely going with Miami Heat since they don't want to play like a first seed.
That's crazy that you say Miami Heat when on a scale 1 through 10, you said a 6. That's 60%. That's wild. I ain't never heard that one, but carry on.
But realistically, I'm actually gonna have to go with the Bucks just to have a different opinion real quick. I'm going with the Bucks because I feel like if what is his name? Robin Lopez, if he
Brooke
comes
Lopez,
back, and Brooke Lopez, if Brooke Lopez comes back,
he's back,
fully healthy, he is back.
Yeah,
I haven't been watching Bucks game recently, but they're a dangerous team no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I think they match up well with the Celtics. I think one thing about the Bucks that I love so much is my favorite player of all time that's greater than Michael Jordan is Chris Middleton when he decides he likes to play basketball. He plays great defense. His dribble is on a fucking string, and it doesn't matter if you get a hand in his face and you're in his front yard on a Sunday, bro. He's gonna hit you in the face, splash. He's a clutch player. Jrue Holiday is a nightmare. He's not just good in 2K, people. He's a nightmare, bro. Marcus Smart don't want to see that, man. He's a professional. Jason Tatum doesn't want to go up against Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday when they actually all like playing basketball. Bobby Portis is a monster at home games. He's one of the most annoying players in the league, but in home games, he is a dog as well. They missed PJ Tucker, yes, but Grayson Allen, again, a dirty player, but he's also a dog. But yeah, I think they are a really good team. They also have a nice bench, which that could be the one reason I would put them ahead of the Celtics, because the Celtics bench isn't the greatest. But again, I do love the way they're playing basketball on the defensive end. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. So I would definitely go with the Bucks or the Celtics. But yeah, that's probably the only two picks.